redistributes?
Gets on
Oh, that's insane. Oh my gosh, what is happening right now?
Thus preventing the happening as Diavolo is close to death, but then is healed / summoned to follow for the rest of eternity. It's kind of almost like really weird,
my gosh. Morbid. Yo, what's going on with you guys? So today I'll be reacting to Meta's fantastic breakdown of different JoJo stands. And in this video, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited for this one. Out of all the videos I've reacted to, except for the first one, which was the after the Made in Heaven one, this is gonna be the second most anticipated video, in my opinion, that I'm gonna be reacting to and hopefully get a full understanding of. Yeah, that's gonna be the Giovanna stand, the Golden Experience Requiem. So yeah, today we're gonna be reacting to the most terrifying stand, the Golden Experience Requiem. I'm personally really excited to check out this video and see Meta's breakdown of the most terrifying stand, the Golden Experience Requiem stand, because yeah, this video is gonna be a little bit different for me because I actually reacted to another video breaking down I think the top 5 stands in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and this stand, Giovanna stand, came in at number 1. Gave me a pretty good brief breakdown as to why Giovanna stand is number 1. So I'm really excited to check this video out. I'm not gonna do too much talking. I know you guys in the comments were going crazy in my last couple of Meta's reactions. You guys gotta cut me a little bit of slack. I'm new to, reactions on YouTube. You guys can tell I'm a new channel. So I just started my channel a few months ago. Pretty new to the reaction space, pretty new to YouTube in general. You guys need to cut me a little bit of slack there. I'll definitely make sure not to talk too much in this reaction because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be personally invested into this video breakdown because I really wanna know what makes this stand the most powerful stand in all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, that's enough talk for me. Let's just get right into this video and see what makes the Golden Experience stand the most powerful stand in all of JoJo's. I mean, the most terrifying in this case.
Most terrifying stands, Golden Experience Requiem.
Ooh, that sound effect was crazy.
If there was a video with a mythic hype behind it, it would be this video. The amount of comments debating me or asking me to talk about this stand in this series is from what I can tell too. Enormous. Due to the complexity of the stand, I've held off for a very long time. But thanks to the homie Jobber and me kind of debating and talking about this stand in private, I think I finally can make a video about this stand proper. Of course, starting off with the musical reference to Gold Experience Requiem. I've explained it in a previous video with Chariot Requiem, but basically Amadeus Mozart makes his composer Requiem but dies before he could finish it. Eventually later on, one of his students would eventually come to finish it, of course being a parallel to where Polnareff dies with the Requiem arrow, but eventually with the struggle to fight Diavolo, Giorno eventually picks up the arrow and achieves a controlled Requiem, unlike the stand Chariot Requiem. The JoJo Bella Araki even states that Gold Experience Requiem is just the evolution to Gold Experience, kind of showing aspects.
The name itself, Golden Experience, that's like, what is the first thing you think of when you hear Golden Experience? I think of like a whole nother level, like a different experience from everyone else. I just think just the name Golden Experience is on a different level.
Requiem arrow. With a musical reference and Araki's comments out of the way, we can finally talk about GER's powers and abilities. And let me tell you, they are insane. GER is consistently stated in universe and outside thanks to a couple guides and Araki himself that it is so powerful it exceeds all previous stats, abilities, and notoriety attack power.
Whoa.
It exceeds all previous stats, abilities, and notoriety.
What happened? Okay, that's Jolene. I thought that was something else.
Power and cannot be compared to any previous stands. You can assume that, thanks to these guides, that GER is the ultimate stand.
Damn.
Gold Experience Requiem stats are also consistent, helping the previous fact that its powers and abilities are so far above everything else that they can't be represented. Kind of implying some internet debate that GER has a no limits fallacy. GER even mentions itself that no matter what ability a stand has in JoJo, GER itself will be above it every single time.
Bro,
and with that being said,
crazy.
We can actually scale off.
He just basically said whatever stand ability anybody else has in the JoJos, he's just far more superior in every regard. That's crazy.
In the entire series, and said previously to be the ultimate stand, Star Platinum the world. The reason why I thought JoJo Star Platinum is just because he's super consistent, and we actually have some like actual numbers to go off of here, and a lot of statements and stand stats. So with the previous GER is above all previous stands in the series in terms of abilities and powers, this should mean that Star Platinum's city level feat with the sun should mean that GER should be at least at that level or higher. And seeing how the actual statement says, GER is above all stands, it should technically be higher. But for whatever reason, if you are contentious about this argument or even comparing these two stands in general, there actually is some evidence to support that case, but I don't think it's true. During a Part 6 stand stat guide, Star Platinum is stated to be the strongest or the ultimate stand, depending on the translation. Some people consider this to be a defining point that Star Platinum is stronger than GR, or GR is just not that good or
either one.
hyped up to be the ultimate stand.
I don't know too much about either stand, but I'm not gonna lie. Going into JoJo, the anime, I thought JoJo's stand was going to be the most powerful stand. So yeah, seeing that other people have Giovanna's stand as number 1 is crazy.
The first being that Araki has 2 different variations of an ultimate stand. One that's physically powerful with speed behind it and that can be physically measured. And the second being a transcendent stand that can't be measured and is above reason and logic and just it kind of almost works on its own accord. Now the second way to look at it is kind of long and you have to go through a lot of loopholes and kind of say, maybe. Did Gold Experience Requiem exist during part 6? It's kind of implied that GR does not exist anymore and needs the arrow to come back. For anybody doubting this perspective, look at Killer Queen. Once it got hit with the arrow and gained Bites the Dust, the arrow never left the stand.
Killer Queen got hit by
showed that it's embedded on its forehead, and after Diavalu is defeated, the arrow leaves Gold Experience Requiem and is now in Giorno's hands. Plus, you can also look at Polnareff and how he took away the arrow from Chariot Requiem and then it disappeared. Now, this argument only works if you believe, Killer Queen Bites the Dust is a Requiem, and you completely throw away the fact that Trish said that, the Requiem arrow is eternally tied to Gold Experience Requiem. And due to the almost fanfic interpretation of the second part, I just can't believe it's true. Not to mention the fact there are 2 stand stat variations for Star Platinum in part 6, one from the JoJo Veller and one for an in-part version of it. And the in-part version of it doesn't state that Star Platinum is the ultimate stand. That could imply that either Made in Heaven is now or Gold Experience Requiem. With all that being said, the destructive capability and the physical strength of Gold Experience Requiem should be above a stand like Star Platinum the World and can be considered the ultimate stand, quote unquote. It's also stated by Polnareff the original point of the arrows was to achieve a power like an almighty god, and since the acts of Gold Experience are shown to be equivalent to a god, and
bro, how does he?
Depending on your interpretation of the story, this can be true. So on a low ball for GR's AP, city level, on a high ball, mountain level. So it's actually pretty consistent. But if some 15-year-old can blow up a mountain with his stand, I think you should be a tad bit concerned.
How old is Giovanna?
About your well-being on a day-to-day basis in Italy. Now, when it comes to speed, GR actually kind of gets into the
That's crazy. I don't know how old he is. I just realized
JoJo.
that.
Right off the bat, we have GR
above
the same age around JoJo. And most likely immeasurable speed. Both Notorious B.I.G. and Made in Heaven have infinite speed. On top of that, GR was able to at least react in a realm with no time. And just to clarify on what King Crimson's ability actually is, King Crimson doesn't actually erase time. I think it's kind of a misinterpretation on Araki's part and even us as fans. It's more like he's erasing people's perceptions and perspectives. Diavalu even himself confirms that the fact that he actually erases time for everyone else but himself. If this wasn't the case, he'd literally be erasing people from the timeline. Now, taking a closer look at Made in Heaven, at a bare minimum, we know he is at an infinite speed. But taking a closer look at it, he might be at an immeasurable speed. Made in Heaven accelerates time to infinity, ending a timeline and creating a parallel one. Pucci has stated and shown to be physically able to keep up with an accelerating timeline. This fits within an immeasurable speed definition, as its speed is beyond.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bias towards Pucci because
from Pucci's perspective, he is just walking. But from everybody else's perspective, Pucci is moving immeasurably fast.
Even though he's evil,
now, some people would actually call that inconsistent because he actually can't move and stop time. But given on how the context of how it actually works, Made in Heaven speeds up time to be that fast. So logically, if you stop time, you stop Made in Heaven. So basically, Made in Heaven's immeasurable speed
is easier to say. What? You guys know what he was saying?
If you stop time, you stop Made in Heaven. So
you stop time, you can stop. That's so crazy to even say that. That's like so easier said than done,
basically, Made in Heaven's immeasurable speed is reliant on time. Plus, Made in Heaven's ability was so strong that it was able to shorten time stop. And to add even more proof to Made in Heaven being immeasurable, everything that is explained about his ability fits into the criteria of being immeasurable. Time travel, arriving before you left, traveling to different points in time, beyond linear time. Definitions like this fit underneath immeasurable speeds. That then would prove that Made in Heaven is in this category of speed.
Not gonna lie.
If for whatever reason you don't believe anything,
looks like he's making more of a case for Made in Heaven than actually
at bare minimum with stand stats, Made in Heaven would be an infinite speed stand. And with previous stand stat statements with GR and statements in general, GR would scale above Made in Heaven. And of course, if you do believe that Made in Heaven is an immeasurable speed stand, that would also then imply that GR is an immeasurable speed stand on a higher caliber. So with the bare basics out of the way, GR
those were just the basics.
Insanely powerful. Having the physical capabilities of possibly destroying a mountain and being at near immeasurable speeds on a mid ball, not a high ball, of course, because we don't actually know the full limits
Jesus
of GR.
Christ.
This is insane. He, by himself, with no abilities, can basically destroy or kill anything in the context of the JoJo universe within his timeline. Most stands can't even get to a, building level or hell, even light speed without some rough calculations. But the sole fact that GR consistently, through a lot of evidence, can reach these levels is mind-boggling. And that's just basics. We're not even getting into his abilities yet. And since
What? We didn't even get to his. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was breaking out. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was breaking down his abilities right there, but apparently he's not even gotten into that.
Experience. That means Gold Experience Requiem has all of his previous abilities.
Oh yeah, he's already different.
The ability to bestow life into any object.
He can create life
out of it. Damage reflection. When one of the creatures Giorno makes out of Life Giver gets damaged, the damage that would happen to the creature automatically gets on.
Oh, that's insane.
Life shot.
No, I gotta go back for
damage
that.
that would happen to the creature.
So he can redistribute pain. Oh my gosh.
Life shot. The ability to make an opponent feel like they have a bunch of energy to attack the opponent when in reality they are actually lagging behind, giving Giorno the ability to,
Oh, that's tough. That is a tough ability. No, he puts you in like a genjutsu where he thinks you're at an advantage, but you're really not. That's. I'm not gonna lie. That to me makes this already the most terrifying stand. Because if you can warp someone's reality in a fight, make them think that they're actually at an advantage, but in reality they're getting fucked up in real life. That's crazy.
The ability to,
that's insane.
Okay. Them. Life exhaustion, the ability to bestow energy into any life form, making them go
through the
entire lifespan within an instant. Basically,
this is a god
shot ability. Self-healing, just with Life Giver, Giorno has the ability to make any organism, so he can actually.
Oh my god, this
body parts to heal.
Nobody can stop this.
The ability to touch an object to feel if there is life in it. But in Gold Experience Requiem, he can.
Bro, this is a god. What are we talking? This is not a stand. This is a god.
Just feel it out like
I don't even like. I don't even like throwing that word around because I'm a Christian. That's blasphemous. But this is crazy.
Infer that all the other abilities got at least some type of boost thanks
this is
to
insane.
the Requiem power up. He also then gets like life laser beams too. It's the first thing he shows against Giovanna after gaining the Requiem. So it's like really weird. It's not explained at all, but it's there. And finally, his two new abilities when Gold Requiem appears: infinite death and return to zero. Gold Experience Requiem has a semi-passive ability to revert any attack to zero and will itself to zero as well. It is technically a form of causality manipulation, removing and preventing an effect and only leaving a cause. There's a specific requirement for it to revert something. It requires the manipulation of the attacker's will.
Oh my gosh, what is happening right now?
Thus preventing the effect and reverting everything to zero. And defining will within the case
anybody
of Jojo
who's fighting Giovanna,
fighting spirit. Return to zero is busted. I'm just gonna flat out say it. No matter what you try to do to this stand, you are not going to affect it at all.
Because it can just return back to zero.
Possibly being as fast as Gold Experience Requiem itself being immeasurable, you cannot outspeed the ability. Not to mention the fact that the ability in and of itself removes the attack. It is probably one of the more busted abilities in all of fiction. Gold Experience Requiem
I'm glad he said fiction, because I thought if he just said JoJo, I would have been mad. But he said all of fiction, all of anime. This is crazy. I can't. If you guys don't know, as he's talking, I'm trying to think of different anime that could even like be comparable to this Golden Experience stand. Nothing is coming up to mind right now.
Way too massive. He has
everything I'm thinking of is getting fucked up by Giovanna stand.
Giving the ability to make your attacks literally useless, having an extremely high AP and massive speed advantage over pretty much a large majority of anime characters is just insane.
I gotta go back to that list.
Advantage over pretty much a large majority of.
Okay, yeah, he's fucking up every character in One Piece with his stand. Dragon Ball, I'm not gonna lie, that could be a little bit comp because there's gods in that show too. But if I have to put my money on it, I'd put my money on Giovanna stand against any Dragon Ball character. Yu Yu Hakusho, I haven't seen that show. Fullmetal Alchemist, I'm sorry, he doesn't even stand a chance against the weakest stand in JoJo's. But yeah, everybody else on this list is getting wiped off by Giovanna stand, in my opinion.
Is just
that's
insane.
Crazy.
If you were to encounter Gold Experience Requiem through, I don't know, time travel or, hopping into alternate universes.
I would love to see a fight between those two, though. Lucci and Giovanna.
You're not gonna win. I'm sorry to say this, but like this is you're done. And there's still more to talk about. Enter the death loop. Now, from what is shown in the manga, Diavolo doesn't actually die in this death loop. What's actually happening is Diavolo is close to death, but then is healed / summoned to a different scenario right before the official death to repeat the process. Thus, no effect has been reached, and he is reverted to 0. Basically, GER is removing the aspect of death from Diavolo infinitely, and in the higher ends of it, the concept of death itself. Now, the interpretation of how this ability works, or maybe the scenario and how it should be activated, is contentious as fuck, and a lot of guides and just people in general just kind of don't agree with each other. Until this day, Araki has
I salute to Araki. He made one of the most powerful anime abilities ever.
Clarified how it works. It's vague as fuck, to the point where it's inconsistent and makes a lot of people think that GR has a no-limit fallacy, which it possibly could have, depending on the scenario you think of, but it just gets really weird. Now, the death loop keeps Diavolo's wills and actions, forcing Diavolo to succumb to every near-death scenario possible. Infinitely, might I add. The safest bet to where Diavolo shows up is different points in time. He goes from the river to 2 days into the future. Possibly, depending on how the ability works. Now, if it's true that he's actually getting teleported to different points in time for the rest of the universe or for the rest of time, this would then give GR a slight passive ability to manipulate time. So add that to everything else he can do. Needless to say, the infinite death loop is probably one of the most terrifying abilities.
Just picturing being in an infinite loop that's so much torture.
Think of every atrocity a human can do against another human, and then anything the universe can do against a human. It's an unfathomable amount. I can't even any picture. Evil action human has now been bestowed upon Diavolo for the rest of eternity.
My
it's kind of almost a really weird, like, morbid thought process to think about all the scenarios that could possibly happen to you. Almost kind of in a cosmic horror type of sense. Now, aside from the death loop being probably one of GR's greatest feats, there is still one more we need to talk about. The fact that GR was able to erase time is definitely a universal plus feat. We know that stands like the World and Star Platinum of the World have the ability to affect time around
Jojo does not stand a
chance
against this
Made in Heaven fighting Star Platinum of the World and Star Platinum stopping time, and Made in Heaven not being able to react to it, or, being stopped by it, would then imply that Star Platinum's time stop affects the entire universe when he stops time, therefore implying that a stand like King Crimson, who has the ability to erase all of time within a fragmentary moment, would affect the entire universe, therefore meaning that GR beat a character that could do a universal plus feat. It's said by Araki himself the range of time stop would go all the way into space, therefore proving even the fact that Star Platinum can affect the universe like he did against Made in Heaven. On top of that, GR has the ability to stop fate itself, which is an entirely
what?
On top of that, GR has the ability to stop fate itself.
He can stop fate. So he can change your future.
Which is an entirely different bag to explain, which Jabba's already done.
This is getting more and more intense.
That down below for you guys.
Just when I thought I understood and I grasped it, but like just when I thought Giovanna Stan was like done explaining all his abilities, he has some more.
Yeah, GR is just fucking stupid, insane, dude. He just stops fate just because. I don't know how to explain it. So when it comes to the original universe, GR is
nobody stopping this stand in all of anime.
The strongest stand. What happens when he meets the infinite rotation and D4C love?
What the fuck can these stands do against Giovanna Stan?
We actually do have an answer to this, vaguely through power scaling. In the guidebook, GR still holds his title as the ultimate stand, still having no stats, while incredibly powerful stands like D4C Love Train and Tusk Act 4 still have stats, aka their physical stats and abilities.
Doesn't that tell you something? He doesn't even have stats. That's how crazy he is.
Gold Experience
That's how I'm looking at it.
Wise, with its return to
you can't measure his abilities. Like, it's so out of this world. They can't even be measured.
Above the most powerful feats Tusk and Love Train have been able to show. Both stated to be trans-dimensional. D4C Love Train having barriers being multiversal plus, and Tusk Act 4 with the infinite rotational energy being able to pierce said barrier with infinite attack potency are getting washed by GER with its return to zero.
Gotta be.
And with the context of the multiverse being involved in part 6,
I think a 2v1 he's still watching them.
This would then technically mean a stand like Made in Heaven has, universal plus implications, meaning that since GR is technically within that timeline supposed to be stronger than Made in Heaven, that would technically mean on a mid ball, GR is multiversal plus, and on a down play is universal plus, which is still insanely powerful. It makes total sense for the past 2 decades why this stand was considered one of the strongest things in all of fiction. fiction. And in my opinion,
Bro, I gotta go back for that.
stand was considered one of the strongest things
in all of fiction.
And in my opinion, one of the
He's not even saying anime, he's saying fiction. So I'm thinking of like cartoons, Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Terrifying stands. Just
He's
pray to
washing
that you
them.
never get caught in an infinite
Not gonna lie, he's washing Madara. He's washing Aizen, my favorite antagonist in all of anime. He's destroying Aizen.
Well, that's gonna be the end of the video. Like,
oh
comment, share, subscribe,
my gosh.
follow me on Twitter. Stay.
Oh my gosh, guys, I'm at a loss for words. Literally, I don't know what to say. Wow, Giovanna stan is I hate throwing this word around because, like I said, I'm a Christian, but this is almost even above God tier. I can't even, like, I don't know. I can't fathom like half of these abilities. Like, these are so broken. This stand is the most powerful stand in Jojos by far, hands down, in my opinion. Just from Meta's breakdown, Giovanna stand is the most powerful stand in all of anime. Not even just Jojos. Fuck Jojos for now. All of anime, this stand is the #1. This stand is the strongest entity in all of anime. I don't care. Oh my gosh, this breakdown was so elite. I liked how he broke it down too. What's crazy is I think that Giovanna stand has even more abilities that Metas didn't obviously get a chance to break down. But I'm at a loss for words, guys. I really am. Like, trying to picture other anime characters even trying to fight against this character, it's literally impossible. He can just reverse time. He can put you in an ultimate genjutsu. He can make you think one thing while in reality another thing is happening. I feel like Golden Experience is also beating my favorite stand so far, which is a Pucci stand. I think it'll be tough. I think it'll be a really tough battle between those two. But just right now, I'm gonna have to pick Giovanna stand, but who knows? I don't like how he titled this the most terrifying stand. He should have titled this the most god tier stand, or like just said the most god tier ability in all of fiction. And apparently he's only 15. I'm not sure if that's true or not, because I think he mentioned he's 15. That's even crazier in my opinion, if he's only 15 doing all this. But yeah, man, I'm really excited to check him out in the actual anime. So yeah, man, that's all I got for this reaction. If you guys are new, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and we're out.